European leaders are scrambling to secure a place at the table for any peace talks on the Ukraine conflict. And this comes as Washington announced plans for a senior U.S. delegation to meet counterparts from Moscow and Kyiv in Saudi Arabia in the coming days. France will reportedly host an emergency summit of European leaders on Monday. And the meeting follows U.S. President Donald Trump's sudden announcement this week to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin soon to start talks to end the Ukraine conflict. The U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg spoke at the Munich Security Conference, saying that Europe would not have a direct role in the talks, but would still have input. The U.S. position is sparking fear among European leaders, who worry they might be excluded from shaping any deal and that their interests could be sidelined in peace negotiations. And at the conference, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made it clear that Ukraine would never accept peace deals made behind its back. And he's denied Kyiv's involvement in any planned meeting in Saudi Arabia.
I think that we need to share more details because, to my mind, there are a lot of different voices around the new American administration, and I'm not sure that all these voices on our side. That's why we have to work with these people. Yeah, we had really a long conversation with the President of the United States. Not first one and not last, I'm sure. And I mean, really between us, I'm not sure that by phone we can manage all the plan, all security guarantees with all the details, because, you know, devil in details. Yes, and we know where is this devil, in what country now.
Well, Singapore is being represented by Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen at the Munich Security Conference. And speaking to CNA, he said that the summit had been a good opportunity to discuss global challenges with partners from Europe, Asia and North America. Trent Murray is right there and tells us more.
Singapore Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen is in the Bavarian capital for his 13th Munich Security Conference. This summit has long been a major gathering of political and military leaders to discuss defence and global security. But this year, it comes at a time where it feels major geopolitical shifts are underway, from the return of President Trump to the world stage, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and of course tensions in the Middle East. During his sit-down with CNA, I asked Dr. Ng what some of his most pressing concerns were when it comes to the global order.
Each country acts for its self-interest, as I said, that's the basis of foreign policy, but to the exclusion of not protecting the global commons in terms of trade, a coherent system, which all countries want to see as fair and benefiting small and large countries. That's one global common. The global commons of emergency response to pandemics, to transnational threats like terrorism, global commons of dealing with climate change, global commons against transnational crimes. And one would have to recognize that America, for the past 80 years, played the moving spirit, the architect for evolving the protection of global commons. Will the new Trump administration and new American policy undermine that? I hope not, but I think there's certainly a risk.
We also spoke about the shifts underway in the Asia-Pacific, particularly the Trump administration suggesting it wants to move its focus away from Europe to allow it to increase its force posture across the Indo-Pacific.
Well, we have an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, which Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong signed with President Trump in New York. This was in 2019, which extended the MOU for another 15 years, which facilitated U.S. military assets to our naval and air bases. So, I mean, that's already in the works, and that would be no different. The premise for that MOU was that we believe that American presence in the region is a force for stability, and we continue to hold that view.
We also touched on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. I asked the Minister whether we could expect to see additional aid to the Strip, including the possibility of further aid airdrops by the SAF.
we've already provided the 7th tranche of humanitarian aid. In fact, we're looking to do more and to see what is needed, and I think medical aid is needed, in what form or how it is to be given. I think we are looking at options, talking to countries there, including Jordan, UAE, Egypt. But we want to, at the same time, do it in an environment that doesn't put our soldiers or volunteers in harm's way. So the short answer is yes, but we are looking for conditions which satisfy these requirements.
This 3-day summit wraps up late Sunday. We know MINDEF has facilitated a number of bilateral meetings, including between Dr. Un and his counterparts from Germany and Italy. He has said that through its relationships both in Asia and across the world, Singapore is well placed to navigate the uncertain waters ahead through diplomacy, dialogue and, where appropriate, defence cooperation. Trent Murray, CNA, Munich.